Hello everyone, this is PK Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're going to talk about Deadpool 3 and the seemingly confirmed news that Australian actor Hugh Jackman will be reprising his role as Wolverine in the upcoming movie, and whether this movie will actually work or not. Now there might be spoilers for both Deadpool and Wolverine movies, the Fox X-Men movies, and all phases within the MCU, so just beware when going into this overall video. Now, the lead actor of Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, recently uploaded a video online in his very typical comedic style, giving this monologue about Deadpool being within the MCU, and at the end of the video we see him asking Hugh Jackman as he's walking up the stairs whether he wants to play Wolverine or not, and Hugh Jackman replies, "Yeah, sure." Now the video also confirms that Deadpool 3 will be due for release in 2024. So of course this sent all waves of excitement within social media, and yes, to be fair, both interpretations of Deadpool and Wolverine have been very successful at the box office and well received amongst fans. Both Deadpool movies that were released in 2014 and 2016 grossed well over $700 million worldwide, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine has been the main attraction of the Fox X-Men universe ever since it first started in 2000. He himself had his own trilogy of movies with X-Men Origins Wolverine in 2009, The Wolverine in 2013, and most successfully Logan in 2017. So it's very easy to see why fans are mega hyped for this. It's been a long running question as to whether Deadpool would be integrated within the MCU following Disney's buyout of Fox, which acquired the rights of the character. And also given the R-rated nature of his films, which obviously clashes with the more family-friendly orientation of the MCU, would Deadpool's tone be diluted or would it be allowed to continue as it has done previously before? But when you get past all of the hype and actually look into this more deeply, you do ask the question, will it actually work, both in terms of an actual movie and a story? And when I look at this from this perspective, I'm actually not so sure. Now I fully appreciate that I'm going to be in a minority here. Because I wasn't a massive fan of the Deadpool movies, it was just my own particular preference. I didn't really like the humour and the tone. I found it overall to be a bit juvenile. And whilst I do think Hugh Jackman was a very good interpretation, I was actually looking forward to seeing a far more newer version of the character, even closer to the source material. I would see the character be a lot more shorter, like 5'5" or 5'6", and wearing the actual costume, whether it be the brown and yellow version or the yellow and blue costume. And I've always felt that Hugh Jackman, being very tall at 6'2", would never look right in the actual accurate version of the costume. There's then the big issue of the fact that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine died at the end of Logan, a very much definitive end to his character. So yes, bringing him back in this movie does undermine that ending, especially if you're a massive fan of that movie. Now we know that the MCU is going all in terms of the multiverse, where we're dealing with variants of multiple characters crossing over with one another, which I believe was done so that they could integrate the X-Men into their universe. So will this Wolverine be another variant rather than the Fox version? That would be one way to keep the ending of Logan intact, and it would also free Marvel of not having to worry about sticking to any canon from the Fox X-Men movies. We've seen Marvel use this tactic already, taking established versions of characters from previous franchises and interpreting them differently within the MCU. We saw this first with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, returning in a Hawkeye Disney Plus series, which was clearly a different version from that of the Netflix show that ran for 3 seasons. This will also be the same for Charlie Cox's Daredevil, when he appears eventually in the She-Hulk series and then later on in the Daredevil Born Again, which will be broadcast sometime next year. And certainly the flippant tone of the Deadpool movies with all of the cameos, the fourth wall breaking, would certainly accommodate a variant Wolverine without too much explanation needed. But what about the actual story of the movie itself? And that's my biggest concern here. Again, just having Deadpool and Wolverine bouncing off one another, making lots of self-parody jokes involved in lots of fights and banter, would be enough for many fans, which is fine if you like that sort of thing. But for me personally, I just want something a bit more. I'd probably want something a bit more substantial. And again, given the fact that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is far more of a serious in tone nature rather than Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, it will be interesting to see how exactly they contrast the two together in the same movie. Now, to be honest, I think this will be very much a one and done, as I don't think we will see Hugh Jackman be at the forefront of the MCU X-Men. I still think we will eventually see a newer version of the character. Now, perhaps Deadpool will remain a more separate entity from the MCU, Though I'm sure Marvel will want to utilise the hype from this movie in their universe, very much like what we saw with Spider-Man No Way Home, and I'm sure they'll be expecting a similar return in terms of the overall box office. But for me, this whole collaboration has much more of a fan service feel towards it. Now maybe saying it's a gimmick might be a bit too harsh, but it seems certainly from the hype that I'm seeing around this, it's far more surrounding the likability of the two actors, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, rather than an actual organic story involving the two characters. Now yes, Deadpool has been a villain for Wolverine in terms of the comics, but he's not the character that you would first associate with Wolverine in any potential double act or collaboration. And in terms of the movie, we asked the various questions about the story. Who would be the villain? How would the two characters team up? How would you explain Wolverine, where he's come from and where he's been? Do you have to mention any other members of the X-Men or any other mutant team-ups, as we've seen other mutant characters appear in Deadpool 2? Or do you avoid all of that world building and just literally have it a separate double act consisting of just the two characters, which is personally I think is the best way to handle this story? How will they handle all the pressure from fan expectation, who will no doubt be wanting to see lots of cameos and links to either the Fox universe or indeed the MCU? So once you get over all of the hype and excitement and actually dig down into this and look into how it can play out logistically, there are more questions than I think than actual excitement in my personal opinion. But again, this is down to your overall preference and taste in terms of how you favour towards the overall characters. But there's no doubt that when this movie does eventually come out, it's going to be an absolute smash at the box office. It wouldn't surprise me if it does indeed go on to make $1 billion worldwide. And again, I'm sure Disney and Marvel will want to use this as a way to help propel their universe as they head on into phases 5 and 6 and eventually 7 as well. So there's my overall thoughts and feelings on the recent announcement of Deadpool 3 confirming Hugh Jackman returning in his role as Wolverine. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you very excited for this? Are you indifferent or are you very concerned? Do you think this could be just a very much of a fan service gimmick style of initiative, and that you think the movie could be an entire mess? Or do you think there could be something far more substantial here? And will it open the door to see much more of characters within the Fox X-Men universe appear? Will we see some more links into the overall integration of the X-Men within the MCU? And also, what will this mean going forward for Deadpool himself? Will this be the last installment with Ryan Reynolds before they go to recast the character? Or will we see a next host of movies with Ryan Reynolds consisting much more within the universe? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any other subjects or topics or movies or television series that you'd like to see me cover within this channel, then also let me know and I will see if I can provide further commentary on you in the future within this channel. Please also hit like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.